at a concrete point in time. And think,
the revenue account totals the increase in a business's assets.
So I'm going into the bank and there's this hot-looking pink furry puppet in there. Woo, baby! And I walk up to her and I said, hey, want to see my assets?
Oh, bank assets! Oh!
Good evening. I'm not done yet.
Hey, you almost killed me! Why don't you get out of my face? We're gonna love these time restrictions. You can find another life. You can find another job. Can you move? Can you
thanks. Hello there. My name is Tessa Monroe, and welcome to the reasonably priced world of marketing. Luckily for us, you've already fallen prey to our marketing tactics. But luckily for you, you're going to learn how to use them too. In this tape, you'll learn about the marketing concept, marketing research, the 4 P's of marketing, and so much more that you'll be stunned.
Newsflash. You bought a videotape. And like millions of other people around the globe and in outer space, you can pause or stop your videotape.
Got that? If not, rewind.
The reasonably priced world of marketing is only a supplement to your marketing class, so go to class. Don't make us look bad.
Now we know that marketing can be a rough ride at times. The Standard Deviants have scoured the nation for all the introductory marketing material you need to know, and then hired some cream-of-the-crop marketing professors to help us. We sum it all up and break it down for you like a learning digestive system. We'll try to make it easy to learn, easy to remember, and just a little bit enjoyable. That's our job.
Part 1. What is marketing?
In the most simple sense, marketing can be explained in one sentence. The customer is always right. But what does that mean?
Marketing is the process of meeting the needs and demands of consumers. Marketing is about products and services and how you persuade the public to want what you have and how you make them get up and buy it.
Things get a little sticky, though, because marketing people define the terms needs and demands in very specific ways. Let's figure out what those are now.
A need is a human essential: food, water, shelter, clothing.
A demand is a luxury. What's a luxury? Anything that you want, but don't need to stay alive.
Sometimes you need to know the difference between a need and a demand.
An easy way to remember the difference between needs and demands is to look at things just like the government does.
If the government doesn't tax it, it's probably a need.
Like that bread. Is bread taxed?
No.
So that means it's
Tax-free.
and
Cheaper.
and if I took your bread away,
I die.
so that means
Bread is a need.
However, if the government taxes something, it's probably a luxury or a demand.
Hey, that doesn't work. I live in Florida, and here they have sales tax on food and property tax on houses. Put that in your pipe and smoke it.
It's true, some states do tax things that are generally thought of as needs. The taxing idea is just a good shorthand rule of thumb. An even shorter rule of thumb is needs keep you alive, demands keep you happy.
There's one more definition you need to be able to do marketing, and that's the definition of market.
A market is all the people that do buy or could buy a certain product.
So the market for cheese is all the people who buy cheese and all the people who might have reason to buy cheese sometime in the future. The market for evil is all the people who buy evil and all the people who might have reason to buy evil sometime in the future.
Specifically, the people in the market, or the consumers, must have the ability to buy, the authority to buy, and the willingness to buy.
Say you want to buy an adult entertainment publication. In order to join the market for adult entertainment publications and be one of the consumers, you're going to have the ability, authority, and willingness to buy. The ability to buy means that you have the available funds. In this case, the $5 for the magazine. Authority means that you can use your funding to purchase the product. In your case, in order to have the authority to buy the magazine, you have to be 18 years old. How old are you?
I'm 19!
You have the authority. Finally, you must be willing to buy the product. You must be willing to use your $5 to legally buy your adult entertainment publication.
You got that? Ability, authority, and willingness.
So we can see that marketing is essentially about generating sales of a product or service.
Is your product a need? A demand? Who cares? We want sales!
Section A, generating sales.
There are three traditional ways of generating sales. They are the product orientation, the selling orientation, and the marketing orientation. Which one is best? It depends. Listen, marketing friends.
The product orientation is when the manufacturers believe that consumers will buy their product if the product is clearly the best damn whatever it is on the market.
Product orientation makes manufacturers always want to improve their product. The product orientation manufacturer can generally sell all the product that's produced, so the only way to generate new sales is to change the product itself. That's why you see things like this.
Door grease. New and improved door grease. Ultimate door grease.
The company truly believes that each new improvement will generate more sales. The problem with this approach is that it ignores the activities of competitors and desires of the consumers.
Maybe consumers like new and improved door grease fine, but what they really want is door grease for revolving doors. Even ultimate door grease isn't going to cut it for revolving doors. So that was the product orientation. Let's look at another approach.
Section B, the selling orientation.
Manufacturers who buy into the selling orientation believe that their product is fine. They just need to advertise to get people to buy it. The selling orientation manufacturers think that the more they advertise and push their product, the more people will buy.
Listen to this selling orientation marketer.
You need to generate huge sales for your product. Undertake this huge advertising campaign. Huge equals huge.
Manufacturers who embrace this method usually have an overcapacity. Having an overcapacity means that the manufacturer has too much product, more product than the public could ever want or need. Manufacturers with an overcapacity need to sell! And they don't care what the actual consumer demand for the product is.
Selling orientation manufacturers believe that the right advertising message will allow them to unload their product on an unsuspecting market. Their key tactic is manipulation.
Well, okay, the market isn't always unsuspecting. Selling orientation marketers realize that consumers have a certain resistance to advertising. That makes sense, doesn't it?
For you, special price, $5.
Buy sticky glue, the best glue in the world.
Yeah, right.
See? Resistance. Oh, but selling orientation marketers believe that the right advertising or the right salesperson can overcome the resistance to advertising.
Buy sticky glue, the stickiest glue. Take it from me, a well-known celebrity.
Drop that caramel corn, dude. We must acquire the glue.
The problem with this approach is that it ignores any feelings the consumer might have about anything. The manufacturers are pushing their product without examining the marketplace. That's all right, guys. It's going to be just fine.
If a selling orientation marketing campaign initially succeeds, it's usually because the advertising campaign was lucky. The company just hit the right place at the right time with the right message. To continue the success, the company will have to adjust its product and message as the market changes.
Let's say you own a company called Sun Block Block. Your company makes sunblock. That smells like bacon.
Initially, your company had a product orientation. Under the product orientation, the company accentuated the good parts of your product, like the fact that it makes you smell like bacon. Well, people started buying and everything was good, so you made more sunblock.
Then you had a problem, because you had more sunblock than you had customers. You had an overcapacity.
So your company switched to a selling orientation. Your marketers thought it was the best thing to do. They said,
undertake this huge advertising campaign. Huge equals huge.
And you did. And the product sold marvelously. You thought nothing could go wrong. Then, just like that, everyone stopped buying your bacon sunblock.
So what happened? Your selling orientation campaign was doing well. It's just like we said. If a selling orientation works, it's probably because you had good timing and you were lucky. You happened to have launched your campaign in the summer. That's when people need sunblock. When the summer ended, people stopped buying. Now you're stuck with a lot of sunblock and you have no one to sell to.
This kind of failure generally leads people to the next kind of orientation, the marketing orientation.
Section C. The marketing orientation.
The marketing orientation is kind of a cross between the two previous orientations, but not really.
Under a marketing orientation, a company's marketers realize that they can't sell all of their product to all of the market. So, the company starts with the assumption that the product may not be perfect the way it is. Then, the company finds a part of the market that is most likely to buy the product and concentrates on them, tailoring the product and the campaign to that section of the market. This section of the market is called the company's target market. When the company directs marketing efforts at the target market, the marketers sometimes call the target market the target audience.
Let's go over that again.
The marketing orientation begins with the customer, not the product. If the marketer understands the lifestyle, needs, wants, and demands of the target market, the marketer can develop the product to fit these needs and wants, and then customize a campaign to demonstrate how the product can best serve this target audience.
That's a little complex, so we'll show you the marketing orientation at work in a best case scenario.
We know you as well as you do.
You do? How eerie.
And we know what you want, and you want this.
Too true. I'll take 6.
Pretty simple, right? Let's see it at work for your company, Sun Block Block.
You have all this bacon-smelling sunblock, and you don't know what to do. So you turn to your marketing department, and they decide to come up with a market-oriented strategy. First, they examine the market to find the people who are most likely to buy your product. That's people who need shelter from the sun and want to smell like bacon year-round. Knowing who these people are and where to find them, your marketers can then devise a plan to get them to buy. So, they say to your target market, the people who need protection from the sun and want to smell like bacon year-round, hey, we know that you need protection from the sun and want to smell like bacon year-round, and we've got the perfect thing for that.
That way, the consumers get what they want, protection from the sun and to smell like bacon year-round. And you get what you want, sales. You had a whole little process of exchange there, didn't you? Pretty neat, huh?
That's how the orientations work in a basic sense. Let's see how all these orientations fit together in the real world. We're going to let you know why companies use the product orientation, even though it's not really the most efficient strategy. Aren't you excited?
Section D, the marketing concept. Guess what? A company just doesn't choose an orientation and go. Their orientation usually progresses through a cycle that starts with the product orientation, moves on to the selling orientation, and ends with the marketing orientation.
If you think about how things worked out with our sun block example, this will all make a lot more sense.
A company like sun block begins with the product orientation. When the company is still small, it's producing all the products that can be sold. The product seems to sell well, and sun block doesn't need to consider the consumer because the product is selling fine. The company is subscribing to the notion that a good product will sell itself, which, in the company's case, is still true.
The thing is, someone's going to notice that sun block's good product is selling well and want to get in on the business. This is just a sign to sun block that the product is indeed good. However, to sell the product in the midst of all that competition, sun block believes it has to try harder at the sell, and that's when our company moves in to the selling orientation.
So sun block undertakes big sales campaigns and maybe even hires a spokesperson, and that works for a while. When the sales begin to wind down and even more competition shows up, the company realizes that the only way to get and keep customers is to serve their exact needs and wants. This is the point when sun block switches to a marketing orientation. Now the company focuses on the parts of the market that they can best serve and they hope will be the most profitable, and lets the competition worry about everything else.
Companies usually find more success in the marketing orientation because the market they choose is made up of people who already want to buy, and because the companies have products specifically designed for their target markets.
Let's review. Companies usually go through 3 stages of marketing. The product orientation, when the company believes that it has a good product that will sell itself. The selling orientation, when the company believes that proper advertising will sell the product. And finally, the marketing orientation, when the company believes the best way to sell the product is to tailor the product and advertising to a section of the market that the company believes is most likely to buy.
Part 2. Marketing planning.
Just like the Army, no company can go about marketing without a proper plan. In fact, when a company makes a plan for marketing, it's called a marketing plan.
A marketing plan balances incoming data about the market with the company's goals and resources.
Marketing plans are usually created once a year, at the beginning of each fiscal year.
A fiscal year is a 12-month period that a company chooses to be its financial year. Most companies choose to start their fiscal year in September.
So what's in a marketing plan? Stuff. And lots of it. But there are a few other things we have to look at before we get into the dirt of a marketing plan.
Section A, the marketing process.
Marketing is a process with involved steps. The main idea of the process is to start with broad ideas and goals, and then narrow them down to specific goals and actions. This way, you never lose sight of your overall goal, but you still produce specific actions that are easy to execute.
The marketer's first step is to determine their organization's purpose. Why are they marketing? What's the point?
This tidy little process is called defining the organization's mission. It's fairly simple.
To define an organization's mission, you write down its purpose.
You can define the purpose in terms of product or in terms of marketing orientation.
Years ago, before everyone was in the marketing orientation, everyone's mission statement was in a product orientation. Like these.
We make hockey sticks.
We make lipstick.
We run contraband to subversives.
But now, most companies realize that a market-oriented mission statement is more helpful. A market-oriented mission statement relates the company to the consumer and is usually a more descriptive way of describing the company's mission.
We make hockey players more effective by making them faster, stronger, and meaner.
We offer consumers an intimate means of expression.
We provide capability to the disenfranchised of the political system.
The most important role of the mission statement is to set a tone for the company both internally and externally. Internally, employees know what their company is about and why they're working so hard. Externally, the mission statement lets consumers know what the company is about as well.
Which statement do you understand better?
We make hockey sticks. We make hockey players more effective by making them faster, stronger, and meaner.
The second, because it has a more complete and descriptive mission statement. You have a much better idea of the company's purpose.
So, once you've finished determining the company's purpose or mission, you've finished step 1. Now, you move on to the next step. Determine organizational objectives.
Determining organizational objectives is essentially a step back. When we say this is our mission, but what does our organization, our company, really hope to achieve?
At this point, the company's marketers are basically determining what they can do to carry out their mission statement.
Organizational objectives are sometimes called business objectives.
Let's do a little example.
To make hockey players faster, stronger, and meaner, a company may need to produce ice skates that can help players skate faster. But to do this, the company needs to research advanced metallurgy. There we have our organizational objective, to research advanced metallurgy to produce faster skates. You can see how it's an organizational objective because it grows right out of the company's mission statement.
But you can't just stop there. You also need to examine the ramifications of your organizational objective. Advanced metallurgy is great, but it's also expensive. The company will have to pay for it somehow. The execs think hard and decide that to pay for the research, the company needs more money, and they can get that by either increasing profits or cutting costs.
Cutting costs is easy enough. The company can just fire the expensive Special Forces team. To continue cutting costs, the managers can reduce the number of times per week they order Chinese food.
But increasing profits means an increase in sales, and that is a marketing objective. Coincidentally, the next topic we're going to talk about is marketing objectives, which is the third step of the marketing process.
Essentially, a marketing objective is the specific goal that a company hopes to achieve through marketing.
At this point, we need to stop and show you a neat little chart. See, it shows you how all these objectives and statements fit together. Up at the top is the mission statement. This is the big word, the absolute statement of what the company is about. Under that are the organizational objectives. These are the means by which the company hopes to achieve their mission statement. You can also think of the organizational objectives as the concrete things that company hopes to accomplish. Finally, under the organizational objectives are the marketing objectives. These are the tasks that help the company accomplish their organizational objectives. Specifically, marketing objectives involve tasks that include interaction with customers. Essentially, stuff that the company can do marketing for. Okay, let's go on.
To make an effective marketing objective, a company must define its market and determine what role it plays in that market.
Tabby Hockey Equipment has had a prestigious history in the hockey industry, but the company's executives are aware that Tabby's position in the market isn't as strong as it could be. The company ranks a distant 8th. Hockey giants Bauer, CCM, Coho, and iTech are in the top spots, followed closely by that upstart Nike. Even Louisville and Cooper are ahead of our company. Tabby holds a miserable 2% of the market.
No place to go but up, right?
That 2% is called Tabby's market share and is how much of the market the company controls.
That means that Tabby's products account for about 2% of all the hockey products sold in the United States.
So Tabby's marketing goal could easily just be to increase its market share. But a marketing objective is better if it's more specific. Tabby decides on this marketing objective.
To increase market share from 2% to 4% by the end of the next fiscal year.
So, a marketing objective is a specific goal that can be achieved through marketing. To achieve marketing objectives, you need to create one or more marketing plans. Let's take a look at what you'll need to make your plan.
Section B, Tools in the Marketing Plan.
Soon we'll make marketing plans, which will help us fulfill our marketing objectives. But before we can teach you about marketing plans, you need to understand some of the tools used to make them. Marketing has all kinds of neat tools to use to help you finish your plan. These tools can also give you a better look at your company and help you refine your marketing objectives. The neat thing is, they're all pretty easy.
The first tool we'll talk about is a market share market growth matrix. The most common kind of market share growth matrix is called a BCG matrix, named after the people who first started to use it, the Boston Consulting Group.
The BCG approach graphs the market share of products and the growth of those products' markets.
First, terms.
Markets tend to grow over time, attracting new customers and earning more money.
High-growth markets attract lots of new consumers. Low-growth markets attract only a few.
Back to the matrix. It looks like a square.
The matrix is divided into quadrants, which describe sections of the market while at the same time describing the company's share of those markets. Along the left side, the matrix has high growth and low growth. Along the bottom, the matrix has high market share and low market share.
The company can then divide its operations into strategic business units, SBUs. Strategic business units are a fancy way of saying the parts of the business involved in doing the same thing. Now, what does that mean?
Well, for Tabby hockey equipment, one SBU would be the ice hockey division, because that's one section of the business involved in making the same thing, products for ice hockey. Another SBU would be the inline skate division, which only produces roller hockey equipment. Another SBU could be the hockey apparel division.
Bigger companies have more and bigger SBUs, usually one SBU for each product line. This allows the company to associate product lines with their potential for earning profits. Some smaller companies may just have one SBU because they just make one product. It all depends.
The SBUs are placed on the matrix in the quadrant that corresponds to their attributes. An SBU that is in a high-growth market and holds a large share of the market, for example, would be placed in the upper left of the matrix. Each quadrant of the matrix has a different name, which describes the SBUs which are placed there.
The upper left quadrant is high growth market and large market share. SBUs in this section are called stars because they have the best potential for making money. Growth in the market means that there's more money coming in, and the large share means your SBU is getting most of that money. The lower left section of the matrix corresponds to SBUs that are low growth but have a large share. These SBUs aren't going to get any bigger, but they command their own market, so they bring in a steady supply of cash. These SBUs are called cash cows. The upper right section of the matrix is where we place SBUs that are high growth but hold a low market share. These SBUs are referred to as question marks because the high growth indicates a potential for high profits, but the low market share means that a lot of work has to be put into the SBU in order to make it successful. Question marks either become stars or they move to the lower right of the matrix. The lower right section of the matrix is where we place SBUs that are low growth and low market share. For these SBUs, there's no potential for expansion, and the low market share indicates that no one is buying what you have anyway. SBUs in this section are called dogs. The best thing to do with extra dogs is to get rid of them.
Let's take a look at the SBUs for Tabby and see how they're placed.
The first SBU is the ice hockey division. As we remember from before, Tabby has a very small share in the ice hockey market, so we'll mark this on the right side of the matrix. Luckily, in recent years, the popularity of ice hockey has been expanding, so the market growth is high, the top side of the matrix. That means we can put the ice hockey division in the upper right portion of the matrix. Placement in the upper right makes the ice hockey division a question mark. The next SBU we'll chart is the inline skate division. Growth in inline hockey has skyrocketed, so we'll be on the top side of the matrix again. Tabby's market share in inline skating is good, 56% of the kids in under 12 leagues buy Tabby equipment. The inline SBU goes in the upper left, making it a star. Unfortunately, no one seems to wear Tabby hockey apparel, and the demand isn't increasing. Worse yet, the one team that did wear Tabby manufactured uniforms, the St. Lawrence C. Lamprey, canceled their contract and now wear Nike manufactured uniforms. Low demand, low market share puts them in the bottom right. Dog.
In real life, we don't leave the names of the SBUs in the matrix. Dots representing each of the SBUs are placed on the matrix, in the quadrant that corresponds to their attributes. In the BCG matrix, we make the size of an SBU's dots correspond to how much money they bring. Big dot for inline, small dot for ice hockey, and a tiny, tiny dot for apparel.
This kind of display is helpful because it allows you to get a better picture of where the SBUs are positioned and how they contribute to the company. From Tabby's plot, we can tell that the inline skating division is a star and should be left alone because it's making money and will make more. Ice hockey is a question mark that could be doing well with a little effort. Apparel is just a dog sucking resources.
That was the first tool in making a marketing plan, the BCG matrix. 2 more to go before we start making marketing plans. Tool number 2 is called SWOT. SWOT stands for strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats.
The SWOT is an examination of a product or service that includes both the product's own good and bad qualities, as well as the conditions of the market. The first 2 dimensions, strengths and weaknesses, are internal factors that deal only with the product or internal aspects of the company. The second 2 factors, opportunities and threats, are external factors which are contained entirely within the market.
Let's use the SWOT method on Tabby's ice hockey line of products.
Strengths. These are internal factors. What does the product offer? What's good about it? 1. Tabby products are built for speed. They're lightweight and easy to use. 2. Tabby products are generally 10% cheaper than other brands.
Weaknesses, which are also internal factors. What's bad about this product? 1. Because they're lightweight, Tabby products are less durable and tend to break frequently. 2. Tabby has had problems coming up with good advertising.
Opportunities. This is when we start looking at external factors. Are there any conditions in the market or growing trends that could affect this product? 1. The newest superstar in hockey, Pyotr Kolmanov, has declared he is on the hunt for a hockey brand to endorse. 2. The Bauer factory just burned down. 3. The Hockey Times reported that Tabby was the coolest sounding brand name in the hockey industry and is the kind of company that could make hockey popular world over.
Threats, another external factor.